Hi, I'm John Fitzgerald and welcome to Custodian TV. This is Series 2 on the Big Four. Number 1 being China, number 2 being the mining boom. The mining boom in Australia, and this is Glenn Stevens, a Reserve Bank governor, saying, we have the biggest mining boom in Australian history. Now, when do you ever hear your Reserve Bank governor saying we have the biggest mining boom in Australian history? And it's only just started. And language, he uses language that we have a shock to our terms of trade. And if you look at the terms of trade graph, it's literally jumped by over 60% in the last few years. It is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal, and it's taking Australia by storm. At the moment we have a 2-speed economy, but in time that'll become a 1-speed economy. Why? Because we've got pretty much full employment at 5% unemployment, and the forecast is that'll reach 4% unemployment in 2013, 2014. But the numbers in relation to the spending on the mining boom and the effect on Australia are just mind-blowing. And the research on it is interesting. When you research how much Australians spend, or I should say we spend on major engineering works on an annual basis, it might be 10, 20, 30 billion dollars. And you remember after the GFC, the government stood in and said, okay, for us to get the whole economy going again, we might have to stimulate the economy spending $20 billion or maybe $30 billion a year on schools, programs, housing starts, etc., etc. This year alone, Australia will spend nearly $150 billion, or commence spending of $150 billion. The majority of that is associated with mining, but also other companies providing to the mines. $150 billion. That is a record in Australian history. But on top of that, there's another $700 billion of expenditure in the pipeline to start in 2013, 14, 15. And that's why the Reserve Bank came out and said just 4 weeks ago, this investment in the mining sector is much stronger than we anticipated and expected. These are phenomenal numbers. And wage growth in the mining sector last year was 8.5%, and the mining sector alone in employment grew by nearly 20%. That is, the number of jobs grew by nearly 20%, and all of us are being affected by it. This is an amazing time in Australian history as we have a change in our dynamics because of China, India and South America emerging, and they've got emerging middle class in those areas and emerging economies and urbanisation. It's putting a lot of effect on our resources, and Australia is the capital for resources. So what I say to all of us, all of you, embrace the mining boom. Work out how you can be a part of it to increase your own income, because we've got now a shortage of labour. This is the Reserve Bank talking, a shortage of labour leading to higher wages, and that's the landscape over the next few years. It's exciting, something we've never seen before at this scale in the history of Australia. Thank you for listening to me.